Hi, I'm Mike Gaynor. I'm an engineer on Google's Open Online Education team, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to export data from Course Builder to BigQuery. Once data is in BigQuery, you can perform your own custom analyses that aren't directly supported in Course Builder. Last time, I showed you how to configure Course Builder with credentials so that it could talk to BigQuery. This time, let's go to Dashboard, Analytics, and now you see the Data Pump tab shows the data sources that are available. Today we're going to start with the most interesting one, Student Aggregate. This contains a roll-up by student of lots of different kinds of information collected from page events, assessment submissions, and the like. Notice that some data sources have associated generators. These run as MapReduce tasks, and this can take anywhere from under a minute up to hours, depending on whether you have only a few thousand up to several million events to process. Let's start the generator job now. This sample course just has a couple of events for one student, so it should finish pretty quickly. Refreshing the page, we get a link to check on the MapReduce job. This page gives you a detailed view of the job's progress. This view is a little complex, but roughly speaking, the job progresses from top to bottom. As each substage completes, its element turns green. Let's close this tab and go back to the Data Pump page to see how the job is doing. Refreshing the page, we see that it's finished, and the data has been stored to the App Engine database. Now we can send it up to BigQuery. This generally runs pretty quickly, and refreshing the page, we can see that it's already done. Now let's go see what the data looks like in BigQuery. BigQuery starts by showing you the schema for the table. This describes the overall structure and any substructure in the data. Clicking on the Details button will show you the full data in a few sample rows from the table, so you can explore. Now, let's see BigQuery in action. We'll go to the Query view. We're going to write a simple query. Suppose I want to know how many times each question was answered. To save typing, I'll scroll the schema view to the field I'm interested in. In this case, it's this question ID field. I'll ask for the question ID itself, as well as the count of the number of times it appears in the data. We don't need this limit on the number of results. We also need to tell BigQuery that when it's counting up, it should count up the items in groups based on the question ID. We run our query, and we get our answer back in a couple of seconds. That's typical even for very large amounts of data. We've got our counts by question ID, but now we need to know what question those IDs correspond to. To get the question titles, we need to send information up to BigQuery describing the questions in our course. We do that by going back to the Data Pump page, locating the questions data source, and sending it. Back in BigQuery, we refresh the page, and we see that a table describing the questions has appeared. Now we can join the contents of both tables to get the counts of questions answered labeled with the titles of the questions. This query is more complex due to BigQuery's SQL syntax, so I'll just load a pre-composed version rather than make you wait for me to type it in. We run the query again, and we see our results with labels rather than question IDs. This demo has just barely scratched the surface of what BigQuery can do. From here, there are a number of options on how to do your own analyses. The first option is to use SQL directly in BigQuery. If you don't already know SQL, it will cost you about a day or two to come up to speed. Another option is to export the data from BigQuery as comma-separated values and import those to a spreadsheet. This is okay as long as your spreadsheet can handle the volume of data from your course. If you can afford them, there are also a number of very good data analytics tools which use BigQuery as a data source. These have some great features that simplify examining and drilling into your results on various axes. These tend to cost around $500 to $1,000 per license, but may offer academic discounts. I hope these videos have been helpful in getting you started with producing exactly the views on your data that you need to improve your course materials and your students' experience. Thanks for watching.